Owning pets can be one of many factors that influence whether a woman stays in an abusive relationship or whether she delays leaving it. Pets are a source of emotional support. We form strong attachments to our pets. An abuser often uses threats against pets to control his victim. Does that actually happen? Yes, it does. I can tell you some examples from my practice. I had a woman who fled from her home with her children in the middle of the night. She returned home the next day to gather some clothes while her abuser was at work and found the children's cat with a broken neck in the living room. Or I could tell you about the woman who tried to talk to her abuser about leaving the relationship, and her abuser's response was delivered in the form of a message. When she returned home from work that day, the puppy that they had bought together was beaten near to death, and that puppy suffered brain damage. Make no mistake about it, domestic violence is always about control. And unfortunately, when pets are in the equation, abusers often are given additional ammunition to use to control their victims. If he kicks the dog when you're there, of course you're going to worry about what happens if you leave. If he throws the cat against the wall, you're going to be worried about what happens if I leave. But if he kills the dog or kills the cat, you're going to be afraid to leave, because that is a message that says, I can do to you what I did to this animal. I'd like to talk to you about some disturbing statistics and also about how Life Crisis Center is trying to change this grim picture. It's estimated that 75% of abusers in households with pets do use threats and actual violence against pets to control and psychologically manipulate their intimate partners. About 50% of women in those homes will stay or delay their departure at risk to their personal safety if they can't take their pets with them. And 5%, only 5% of shelters in the United States accept pets. What this does is cause a very cruel choice to be foisted upon an abused victim. Do I stay and continue to be abused? Do I leave and risk my animal being harmed or killed? Or do I try to find another home for it? These are choices that shouldn't have to be made. So let me tell you how Life Crisis Center is trying to change this grim picture. First of all, we're very interested in developing relationships with local veterinarians and boarding facilities who could temporarily shelter pets as we temporarily shelter women and children who are suffering from domestic violence. Second, we would love to develop a local network of individuals and or families who would be willing to provide, in essence, temporary foster homes for pets that are impacted by domestic violence. And finally, we do have a pet fund, and if you can't shelter or if you can't foster an animal, perhaps you would be interested in donating to the pet fund. I have a dream that one day the Life Crisis Center will have the means to develop and build a facility on the grounds where we have our shelter so that pets and families can be united and not separated. Thank you.